Hello everybody, we're going to go a little bit for a wild ride. We're going to go different places, different times, and dig down into the motorsport history. So we're going to have a fun ride.
Every year, thousands from across the globe flock to the picturesque setting along the northern California coastline to see some of the most beautiful and nearly priceless automobiles ever created. 71 years of unmatched automotive excellence. Solely bearing witness to such an event can raise the hair follicles on even the greatest car skeptic. And for any car enthusiast, dreams of simply having the opportunity to partake in competition on the legendary 18th fairway is all a part of a life's pursuit. But for those actually competing, in their minds, winning best in class at such a grand event is the only option. But only one will win best of show. The most prestigious car event in the world. It's the one, the only, the Pebble Beach Concours d'Elegance.
Well, the car collectors in Canada just couldn't put up with that, so they decided, well, we got to match that. So now we have Cobble Beach, we have exclusive cars, fancy cars, and it's up by Owen Sound, and it's along the shore of beautiful Georgian Bay. So one year, Paul and I decided that we should go check it out and see what we can see. And here we got the judges that are going to decide who's got the best car and who's got the fanciest cars, who's been spending most time shining and polishing and what have you not. And I think amongst the car collectors there's a lot of camaraderie. Beautiful big cars, I guess this would be from the 30s. Still got the running board. Now here's one of my favorite ones. I think 63 Corvette. Yeah, there were a few there. Probably all original. And then this, well, I don't know if that was real wood or looked like wood. And that looks like a 56 Monarch. Excellent condition. And that looks like a Dodge of some sort, judging by the hood ornament. Can't see what that is, but it's beautiful hood ornament. And I think this is the original idea. The hood ornament actually was a thermostat, so you could see if your engine was getting hot. And then, of course, when they got all that figured out, they went a little fancier. And there's Jaguar, with the Jaguar, and that's a real beauty there. Oh, it's an Italian thing. He's at and rearview mirror tied on your spare tire. I don't know how long that would last, but anyway, I guess in the old days that's how you did it. Early Cadillac. Must have been fun running that thing. And as it goes, sometimes even the guys get tired and just gotta sit down and have a break. Well, this idea with these big hood ornaments came to kind of an end in the 60s because safety people realize that when you hit somebody and they fly over the hood, it's rather devastating. And well, you gotta sit down and relax. Well, Cobble Beach is not the only place where you can watch some nice cars. There's in St. Catharines, every summer they had a little get together where all the guys in the part of Niagara show and tell, brought the cars and showed them off. And nice 58 Chevy. Well, that looks, it's a Cadillac. I don't know what year, we probably in the 40s. Still, they did away with the running boards, but they didn't have any fins yet. So, and pretty wild looking little spotlight there. Probably 50, it's a 57 T-Bird. See how they had the exhaust running through the bumper. And there's my favorite Corvette. Just too bad it cost you $50,000 to get one of those. And when I was a bachelor, I was thinking of buying one of these guys. I went to a dealership, and he said $4,500. Well, he worked for $3 an hour. That was like a no-go situation. Nice Meteor. That could be probably a 57 Cadillac Eldorado. Again, run the exhaust through the back bumpers. Nice interior. Looks like somebody. 59 Cadillac with a Continental kit. Now that was quite the contraption to add on the back of a car. And of course, somebody had to bring a nice shiny Beetle to the show and tell. Nice pickup truck, 30s. Beautiful pickup truck. Look at the wheels, still original. Now this guy was kind of nuts. He built himself a motorcycle with a 385 horsepower 350 Chevy engine. Now that's what you call the Brute. And this guy here kind of built himself a pretty wild looking outfit too. He made a custom tank. That must have set him back a few bucks. Nowadays, fascinations with motorcycle was nothing new in Switzerland, because cars came to Europe a lot later. But in Switzerland, between 1922 and 1934, they had motorcycle races and car races over the Klausenpass, and that was quite a fascinating race, and of course it was all on gravel road at that time, but it was very popular at the time. The other thing too, when I was in my apprenticeship, I worked with a fellow that was telling me, of course he was in his 60s when he was a youngster. He had a motorcycle, and he would drive the motorcycle all year round. In the winter time, he'd just put a sidecar on it and get going that way. Of course, then you got high-speed motorcycle racing nowadays, which to me it looks, I guess, just as dangerous as it was in those days. It's pretty fast now.
On that Ducati now, he's got to start to go after each one of these three Yamahas just in front of him. Also, Kyle Wyman with a tremendous start from row 3. Looked like he was almost up to the front 4, got squeezed out down into turn 1. I believe he's running 6, Greg. Petrucci, his strongest part of the racetrack, down into turn number 5. He's able to gather back up a couple of bike lengths. Up and out of the saddle is Matthew Schultz. He loses a little bit of drive. He
did and Petrucci did. Both were up out of the saddles ever so slightly out of Charlotte's Web. Tires are brand new. Track's going to be hot and greasy. You see Petrucci getting all out of shape as he goes over the curbing. He's going to lose a little bit of time there. That's going to open the door for P.J. Jacobsen, who is closed up to Petrucci's rear wheel coming into this very fast S section on the back straightaway.
Perfect scenario playing out right now for the Fresh and Lean Progressive Yamaha team. It's Jake Gagne. Cam Peterson looked like he turned in a little bit too early, had to check himself up. And then you have Matthew Schultz, who noted he is part of the Yamaha family as Schultz, but Schultz's job is to win for Westby Racing and let this championship play itself out.
Now, road racing is not the only thing that fascinated some of these motorcycle guys. Then they decided, well, let's do some hill climbing. And I don't know exactly when that started, but this must have been quite a while ago, judging by his outfit. No helmet, just riding wildly up the hill there. And of course, there's always the casualties. Focus, get ready. Now watch this guy's breathing, because in his mind, he's got, after he pops the clutch, he's got 10 seconds. Either he comes out a hero, or he crashes. Worst case, he goes to the hospital. But you can tell by his breathing, it's all adrenaline. Now this is a promo video that was made by a motorcycle manufacturer in Britain. And as kids, we always had these fascinations with motocross bikes. And they actually had nearby on the Tutwilerberg, they had motocross races. And that was always fun to watch. The only thing is you have to be careful where to stand, because when they were moving along, you got a lot of mud on your face. Now this is the top salesman for the company, and their biggest export market was North America, so that guy actually traveled around quite a bit. And look at the motorcycle that he had, And the reason why he had one like that was he could walk. So I don't know exactly what his handicap was, but look at that service back in the 50s. No ramps, and you just carried a guy up. And originally I was actually going to cut this clip out. I thought, who wants to see a guy, because they're advertising for, you can do it yourself or put your motorcycle together by yourself and you save yourself some money. Well, look at the back wall. That's why I thought, I can't pass these up. These guys might be handy mechanics, and but they sure know how to decorate their shop. And the other thing that was kind of funny about these guys was, like, it seemed to me they were dressed for going out Saturday night. They didn't look like mechanics, but I guess it was the boss says, you're going to be in that video or that movie, so you got to dress your best, and I guess that's it. What I liked about this part was all these various English cars, and you see how compared to North American there were a lot smaller cars. Even some guy showing up with an old Beetle. And this year's a 55 console Sapphire, and we actually, my neighbor had one, and we used it to drive down to Italy one summer.
Also, Dave Vickers, 1966 British champion. It's going to be a rough ride, so scrambling gear is tough. And under international scrambling rules, only standard commercial fuel may be used.
Yeah, you gotta put the gas in.
There are 30 of Britain's top riders in the lineup for the mass start. It's a 12-lap race. Each lap
This was always the crazy part, when they're racing at the start. And of course there's a bottleneck at the end, and if anybody fell or got bumped, it was a disaster, because then they could squeeze by to the hole. Big mess. The other thing too, I noticed these guys are wearing these big belts, and I always wondered why the guys were wearing these big belts. I guess it's part of to protect their all this impact with the riding the bumps, and maybe hurts their back, a sore back. And anyhow, interesting to see that again. Yeah, I guess the crew was helping out there. Okay, keep on going. Just run it down a hill and put her in gear, kickstart it. They also had different classes, different sized bikes. This looks like they're 350s, because I had the smaller 125 cc's, and the this look like they're the bigger bikes. Well, it looks like, and now we know who the winner is. Well, that's what you call sportsmanship. Congratulate the guy that won, because he was just doing a better job. Now, one thing I always thought was kind of wild, when you see those guys in the sidecars, there's a whole different technique of riding a motorcycle. And the guy in the sidecar is throwing his weight around, and it's pretty wild watching them go.
And one manipulating the balance of the bike and controlling this thing at that sort of speed with walls, curbs and blind crests must be terrifying, but not as much as being a passenger whilst doing that. So today, let me explain the engineering and the insane driving skills behind sidecar racing. This is a Formula 2 sidecar, around 130 horsepower, 350 grams, including the riders, and a top speed of well over 160 miles per hour. They run standard 600cc 4-stroke bike engines and racing flicks. The speed they travel at is honestly astonishing. Now, sidecar racing is huge, with many different classes and events, from circuits like Brands Hatch and Alton Park to the scariest of them all, the Isle of Man Snaefell Mountain Course. The Isle of Man specifically.
Now, one thing I always liked about these car meets is that it puts everybody on the same level, rich or poor, women, guys. We all have to, we just want to check out the cars. Now, this was a car my first car that I bought was a 63 Chevy Impala convertible. Nice looking car, but had just a 6-cylinder engine in it, and somehow it didn't work out too well. Ended up selling it after 1 year because it was just burning too much oil. There's a nice TR6. Looks like it's been waxed and shined. Pretty wild yellow color. And this car's been around for a while. I've seen this one around Grimsby quite a bit. It is a car I always liked. It's, I guess it's a 58 or 57 Ford Fairlane. Now those nice big tail lights. Looks like this guy even has bucket seats. Nice. Of course, then you got the Cobra. Actually, this fellow, nice guy, he said, "Oh, you want to sit in the car?" I said, not really. Take a picture of me, and then everybody says, "Oh, he's faking it." And but anyway, it's a fun thing to do, to go these places. Nice 63 T-Bird convertible. Some actually, the roof would fold into the trunk. The trunk lid would actually open up backwards, and then push a button and the trunk open up, and the hood lower its, the roof of the car lower itself into the trunk. And nice distinctive dashboard. This looks like a Pontiac with a Continental kit. Massive back end. Nice Chrysler. They got that imitation spare tire and hood. This might be a Chevy Chevelle. Very popular car in the 60s. Fast car. Studebaker. And this guy has also Studebaker, and I talked with him, and he basically had the right idea. He took the original engine out because it was couldn't get any more parts, and he got a Chevy engine in there, changed all the brakes. Everything is easy parts. Of course, it helped. He was a mechanic. That's a nice T-Bird. Camaro, also a fast car. And this 68 Eldorado reminds me of we were doing a job for this Austrian fellow who had a swimming pool company, and so anyway, one day he showed up with this Cadillac, brand new. Of course, we're all standing around with mouths open, just gawking at it, saying, wow, amazing car, his first front-wheel drive, and 375 horsepower, 7.7 liter V8, and so of course we had to ask him, well, how much does this thing cost? He said, $6,500. I said, well, when you work for $3 an hour, that's gonna be out of your league. So anyway, we complain about 6,500 be a lot of money, but I guess back then it was. And then in the early 70s, my brother, he bought a Tornado like this one, and it's basically the same car as that Cadillac, front wheel drive, same engine, and it was a beautiful riding car, but they did end up having some problems with the front end. They weren't well engineered, but big car, big hood, and this is the car that George bought before he got the Tornado, and he ended up selling it because the body was starting to rust out, but I think he's sorry now he sold it. Well, hindsight is always 20/20, isn't it? Nice Ford Fairlane, looks like a 56. Nice color combination too. Amongst the car fans, there's several different varieties, so to speak. Some just like them hot and fast, take an old pickup truck or something, an older car, fit a hot engine into it, and the faster and louder the better it is. Then the next guy, he thinks that keep it original and don't even bother repainting or anything, just make sure all the mechanics work and you go. And of course then you can also dress up your interior, make it look a little wild. And then of course you got the hardcore people who want to keep everything original, just like day one, and of course they're the ones who spend thousands of dollars on restorations. And the next guy just wants to have a fast car, but most of the fellas really just want to have a car you can take out for a spin on the weekend and go to car shows and relax and chit chat with the other folks and just be, I guess, a lot of shop talk. And then some guys, this looks like a low rider. Again, that seems to be the latest rage. It's just don't paint anything. And then you got the other ones who think that that Cadillac should be turned into something looking wild. And there's a lot of money spent underneath the chassis and under the hood. But each its own. Now, this car really caught my attention because this was a Morgan, and in the 20s and early 30s, the Morgan was the car to beat. Of course, Morgan was a British-built racing car and really wasn't intended to be on the road, but of course back then, who cared? But in Clausen race there, that was a very popular car, and of course it was like a three-wheeler. To me, it always seems like it's sort of a souped-up motorcycle thing, but anyway, it was hot and fast. Now this is a Mercedes racing car. Of course, Mercedes still today, they're quite big in the stock car races and Formula races around the world. And pretty wild looking. I can never figure out what the co-pilot had to do with the racing, but maybe he was the guy in charge of pulling the handbrake when things got a little hairy. Wonder how many cylinders that thing had. It probably was a straight V8. 4 pipes on one side. I wonder if these two guys got pulled over by the cops for speeding. It looks like the Alfa Romeo came out with a design like that. It probably was in the earlier 30s. Well, as they say, shit happens, but these guys don't look too worried about it. And I don't know if there was an after race or pre-race meeting, and but all having a smoke and relaxing. And what I like about this picture is the clothing. In the late 20s, there were a lot of them wearing knickerbockers, which was a British design for pants. And the winner always got a big wreath. And I wonder which wall you're going to hang that thing when you bring it home. And there was a award ceremony in Altdorf, right underneath the sculpture of Wilhelm Tell. And so racing got more popular as time went on, and we're going to just have a bit of a go at it. 9 oval track racing. Just basically 2 types of racing with stock cars. One is on dirt, which you see less and less. There's just a few racetracks around the province that still do it, mostly smaller communities. And then you got the paved track racing, and then of course you got the huge tracks like the Daytona 500, where the run 500 laps, and they got those huge tracks.
Only the top 3 are guaranteed, but the rest of the drivers are racing for alternate positions. Right now, the first alternate, Super City, but the mayor wants him in a big way. Here he comes, trying to get on the inside.
Used to go Saturday nights. It was at Pinecrest Speedway, and when we lived in Richmond, we could actually hear the noise of the cars. You can see it's just on dirt, not as fast, but for spectators a lot more fun because there's more accidents and more dust flying.
Is out of the car in okay, but he and Super CD got crossed up. CD on the bottom. Bayrash went to the top, got into loose stuff, made contact with the wall. With all the action going on back in 4, 5, and 6, the leader is Brian Goey, car number 44. Trying to qualify for his first ever Miller High Life 300. Scott Cadia trying to make his second in a row. He was a rookie here last year. Brian Stevens has been a veteran here for the past several years.
Now this clip is from the driver's viewpoint. It's actually pretty crazy how close together they come. Now this is racing on a paved track. It's what you see a lot of the smaller communities. Saturday night, local mechanics put together some cars, and Saturday Night Fever. Oh, it's great fun. And the other thing that's funny is there always tend to be a bit of a rivalry amongst the spectators. They always have their hero that he's the good guy, then there's the bad guy. Almost like wrestling matches. The red car, he's really seems to have a lot of power. Always on the straightaway is able to get away, and then on the curve he's losing it again. Now we're into the big time racing. Could be Dallas Speedway. But very popular events in the States. A lot of money being bet on it too, I'm sure. The plumber worked for me in Austin. He came on Friday, says, "Oh, I'm going up to Dallas to the race for the weekend." And turned out one of the suppliers where you got his plumbing supplies paid for everything. So we paid for the tickets, paid for the hotel, paid for food. I said, wow, lucky him. Now the other big event is dragster racing, and that's quite exciting. We got a big racetrack down in Cayuga, and been there a couple of times to watch some of the races. Quite exciting, and I'll actually walk around in a pit inside there and check out all the cars. But anyway, let's have some fun. These are the nitro race cars. Very fast, very noisy. Of course, and there's always some crazy nut says, "Oh, I can build something faster," and of course, a lot of this stuff is just for show, but it creates a bit of excitement, a bit of fun.
You're going to experience burner pops any second now, where they pop the burner and ready to do the pass. No burnout needed here because they're not really riding on their tires. They're riding on a thin film of air between them and the ground.
So tell this guy in front of the chair to sit down. Well, not to be outdone, this guy decided, let's build a truck that can go fast. Actually, you can ride along with him. I think it cost you $1,500 for 10 seconds of excitement. Of course, the build up, it's part of the show. I couldn't understand all these people standing down there so close. First of all, the fumes, the noise, and actually told you in the beginning that don't stand behind that thing because you're gonna get smoked out like a hot dog. And there's a guy setting up the camera. I think he's a little late for setting up there. Now with all this craziness, there's always somebody trying to outdo it. So even a high wire act, it's got to have wheels of some sort. But joking aside, you know, we have a lot of the technologies that we have in the cars nowadays actually were tested at first in the race cars, because like the fuel injections, the brakes, carburetors, you know, we never have fuel injections till the racing people said, okay, we know we can improve things with fuel injectors. And so there's a lot of experimenting going on. Somebody brings out something new that might improve efficiencies or brakes type of thing, and I always take the racetrack and see if the racetrack can hold up, then it can be in the market. Honda and Mercedes and several of the other manufacturers are really big on that. But you know, probably one of the reasons why we like older cars and old cars is part of it's the memories. It's like here, Granny and Granddad's old 57 Chevy he was so proud of. Everybody going to the beach. Granny probably made some sandwiches and some lemonade. And we also probably associate all the cars with having a good time and remembering our old relatives. To the top of the head there, that's Karen, and the fella in that chair, that's Jim. And also having the knowledge or the feeling that you had your grandparents there gives you a sense of stability, and having grandparents there that kept you on the right side of the track. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed it. I know it was a bit of a wild ride, and until next time, so long.